Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to learn algebra. Today is our lesson number 73. We are in the process of learning how to multiply algebraic expressions. Day number 51 through 75. Right now what we have been doing on day number 70, we started on 71, 72 and today is our third day. What we have been doing for the last couple of days is that we're learning what happens when you multiply two simple linear algebraic expressions. For example, for today we are asked to multiply this expression here, a plus 5. A plus 5 is what is known as an expression. It has two terms. A and 5. It's an expression, it's not an equation. We're asked to multiply this expression with this expression, a plus 7. And what we learned yesterday and the day before yesterday, and it's very important that you watch the videos in sequence. From day 71 and 72, we know that when we multiply these two algebraic expressions, we get something what is known as quadratic equation if we were to set the result of this product equal to 0. Let's first see what the product is actually before we worry about setting it equal to 0. Okay, so let's do it then. A times a is a squared. A times 7 is 7 times a. I'm going to digress here for a little bit. I just realized that I've been doing it like this, but American kids in the US, they are taught something called, let's first learn the word. M-N-E-M-O-N-I-C. The word is mnemonic. I'm not sure if we covered this thing in our vocabulary videos, and if we have not, then I will cover it because it's a good word to learn. Oh, what do you know? For some strange reason I did not cover it. I use it all the time, but we never have officially actually covered this word mnemonic. What's a mnemonic? A mnemonic, as you well know, is a memory device. Mnemonic. And there is one more word I was going to use. Oh yes, I remember the word. I was going to put it on my list. American kids are taught in their schools a mnemonic device, a memory device, to remember the procedure, and they use what is known as FOIL. First out, inner last. Whatever the hell that means. I never figured it out, and I don't want to. But that's what they use, FOIL. I'm going to share an anecdote with you, if you're up for it, and I'm not sure if anecdote is in there in our list. These are simple words I know for native speakers, but I don't want to shock you by telling you that I am not a native speaker. Anecdote. Anecdote is not in the list. Let me digress here big time. Digress means to go off a topic. Digress. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about here, in addition to the video that you're watching on geometry, I also have videos on vocabulary. If you're planning to sit, I'm just verifying that digress was day number 4. It is day number 3 actually. If you're planning to sit for SAT, GRE, GMAT or TOEFL in the near future, then in addition to improving your math skill, you also need to improve your vocabulary, and which is what I do in our vocabulary videos, and they're on the YouTube, just like this video that you're watching. Just type in the tag KeshwaniPrep-vocab-day 3 and you will learn the word digress, which means to go off a topic. I'm right now digressing. And they're taught this mnemonic, FOIL, which I believe stands for first out, inner last, something to that effect. One day, here's an anecdote. And what's an anecdote? Let's talk about the word anecdote. Oh, well, let's not talk about it because I don't know how to spell the bloody thing. Anecdote is the word. I'm not going to put it on the blackboard because I don't know how to spell it. Do we know this word? Nuance. Nuance is the word that we covered, I believe, on the very first day. And if you have not watched the videos, vocabulary videos, you start from day one and you might get something out of it. Yes, very first day. Day number 1. Just type in KeshwaniPrep-vocab-day 1 and you will learn the word nuance. What does nuance mean? Nuances are minute, subtle differences in the meanings of the word. Nuance. For example, if somebody asks you what's the difference between walk and amble, I believe that's how you spell amble. I'm not a good speller. What's the difference between walk and an amble? Well, amble and walk, they mean the same thing, but not quite, because there is a matter of nuance. An amble is a walk that one takes purely for leisure. It's a leisurely walk. It's a walk at a leisurely pace. So if you want to go pure walk just for the pleasure of it and for no other reason, you're not walking. You are out on an amble. And that's called nuance. What's an anecdote? Simply telling me that anecdote is a short story, which is what most people will tell you. If you ask them what's an anecdote, it's a short story. Well, that's not a full definition of the word anecdote, because you have left out the nuance. You have left out the minute subtle differences that are there in the words. An anecdote is a short amusing story. An anecdote is not something that's going to make you cry at the end. Anecdote is something that upon hearing it, you'll have a tiny chuckle. Politicians like to start their speech with an anecdote. I'm going to share with you an anecdote. Foil that the American kids use for a memory device to remember in this context also is a word in English language. There is a word in English language which simply means foil, which means to be unsuccessful. To be unsuccessful is something. If you thwart, if you're stymied, and these words I'm using right now, and I'm not sure if they are there or not, but I put foil in my list. We'll cover all of them if they're not covered. If you're stymied, if you're thwarted, if you're unsuccessful at something. Oh, thwart is on day number 4. What do you know? Thwart. Day number 4 you'll find along with, so type it in, which means to be unsuccessful at something. To make a pig's breakfast or something means that you foiled, you were unsuccessful, you did not do it properly. Do you understand? To make a pig's breakfast, is not an American expression, it's a British expression. To make pig's breakfast or something means to make a complete mess of something, you understand? That's what it is. If you foil, you basically blew it, you made a mistake, it's all wrong. One day I was walking in the classroom and I had given some work to kids and they were doing their work, and I have a habit of walking around and see what they're up to. And I walked up to this one young boy and I saw his work and I said, "Michael, what did you do?" And he was so proud of himself. He says, "Look, Mr. Keshwani, I foiled." And he was pointing to his work that he had done here. And I had to inform him that, "Michael, that is precisely what you have done." And then later on, of course, I had to explain to them what the word foil meant, because what he had done was wrong. That is exactly what he had done. He had foiled. In his pursuit of foiling, he foiled. Because you were using the word foil as a mnemonic device. Anyway, enough of that. I do not know why we go into this thing, because that's not what you're here for. How did we get this? How did we get into this thing? Oh, so if you're into foiling thing, then go ahead and do what you are taught. But this is the way I do it. This is the way I was taught, and I'm going to stick with my way. So we go from outside here. A times A is A squared. A times 7 is 7A. And then now we take care of the 5. 5 times A is 5A, and 5 times 7 is 35. Voila. Now we have to combine the like terms. The like terms are 7A and 5A. So we have to combine them together. A squared plus 12A plus 35. Here's the expression that results from multiplying these two expressions. Now, if we were to set this expression, equal to 0, if we were to set it equal to 0, then what arises is what is known as a quadratic equation. This is known as a quadratic equation in its standard form. And if you do not know what I mean, what I just meant by in standard form, which means you haven't watched the day number 71 and 72, go ahead and go back and watch those videos, 71 and 72, and you will learn this thing. We will not do anything with this. This quadratic equation right now, because it's too early in the game to deal with them right now. But that's what it is. Our job today was simply learn how to multiply algebraic expressions. This was an expression a plus 5. This was another expression a plus 7. We have multiplied them, and this is the result. Alright? I will see you tomorrow on day number 74. In the meantime, I do not know why I went on so many digression and vocabulary words, but there's quite a few words that cropped up, and I made a list of all of them, and I'm going to cover them. Anecdote, foil, and mnemonic. None of these words are in the vocabulary lessons. I cannot say the word because it involves this letter, which I cannot pronounce. I talked about it before in the past. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.